Prince Harry is expected to return to Britain next month for Invictus Games-related events, but the latest reporting says Meghan Markle, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet are not currently expected to travel with him. That update immediately raised the same question that has followed the Sussex family for years. If Harry wants his children to connect with their British heritage, why does a family return to the UK still appear unlikely? The answer, according to People's latest report, is not a new family statement, not a confirmed royal invitation issue, and not a sudden change in Harry's commitment to Invictus. The answer remains the long-running security concern that has shaped nearly every discussion about whether Meghan and the children will return to Britain together. People reports that Harry is heading to Birmingham in July for events connected to the Invictus Games, ahead of the 2027 competition in the city, but sources say Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are not currently expected to join him. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The confirmed backdrop is the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027. The official Games site says Birmingham will host the event from July 10th through July 17th, 2027, welcoming 550 wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans, along with their families, from 25 nations. The Invictus Games Foundation also says Birmingham 2027 will mark the Games' return to the UK for the first time since 2014, the year the competition began in London. That makes Harry's expected July visit significant for two reasons. First, Invictus remains one of the central public projects associated with him. Second, any return to Britain by Harry now carries a second layer of attention because viewers immediately ask whether Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet will come too. The latest answer, based on People's reporting, is that they are not currently expected to do so. The key phrase is "not currently expected to do so." The key phrase is "not currently expected." It leaves room for circumstances to change, but it does not confirm a family trip. People reports that security remains the obstacle, even after earlier reports suggested there could be movement around Harry's protection arrangements. The public record is more complicated than a simple yes or no. In May 2025, the Court of Appeal dismissed Harry's challenge over the protective security arrangements provided to him during UK visits. The court summary says the case concerned whether his UK security arrangements provided to him during UK visits. The court summary says the case concerned whether his UK security arrangements were inadequate and unlawful, and it concluded that the appeal would be dismissed. The court also explained the central framework. After Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties and moved abroad, arrangements for Harry's protection in the UK became more bespoke and case by case, rather than the same automatic protection he had received before. The court summary said it was impossible to call that reasoning illogical or inappropriate, and described the approach as depending on the circumstances of future visits. Harry has publicly framed the issue very differently from how the court resolved it. After the legal defeat, he told the BBC that he could not see a world in which he would bring his wife and children back to the UK at that point, and he said his children would miss everything connected to his homeland. People also reported that Harry said he wanted reconciliation with his family, but that the security issue remained a central sticking point. That is why this latest July update matters. It is not just another travel detail. It shows that even with Invictus returning to Britain, and even with Harry expected to be involved in the build-up, the same unresolved issue still appears to shape whether the Sussex family travels together. The timeline goes back to 2020, when Harry and Meghan stepped back as working members of the royal family and relocated to North America, eventually settling in California. The Court of Appeal summary says protection for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was withdrawn from March 31, 2020 after that transition. In 2022, the security dispute became a public legal and family issue. Reporting at the time said Harry argued that private security could not replicate the police protection he believed was necessary in the UK, and that without that protection his family was unable to return safely. The family did return together in June 2022 for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee, and People notes that Archie and Lilibet have only been back to the UK once since the Sussexes settled in the United States. Meghan has not returned to the UK since 2022, when she and Harry were already in Britain for charity events, and extended their stay after Queen Elizabeth died. That makes the July Invictus visit a natural point of speculation. Harry is expected in Britain. Invictus is connected to his public identity. Birmingham is preparing for the Games, and Harry has repeatedly said he wants his children to know the UK. But according to the latest People report, the expectation remains that Meghan and the children will not join him as things stand. The Startline takeaway is this: the story should not be framed as Meghan refusing Britain or Harry choosing a solo trip, unless that is publicly confirmed. The verified and responsible framing is that Harry is expected to travel for Invictus-related events, while sources tell People that Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are not currently expected to join because security remains unresolved. That keeps the story accurate without adding motive. What remains unclear is whether any formal security decision could change the plan before July. People reports that no decision has been formally communicated despite earlier optimistic signals. The official Invictus schedule page also says competition schedules, session timings, and ceremony details will be published ahead of the games, which means public details around future Invictus events remain incomplete. For now, the clearest verified status is this: Harry is expected back in Britain for Invictus-related activity. Birmingham 2027 is moving forward as a major UK event, and Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are not currently expected to accompany him. The open question is whether the security issue changes before the trip or whether July becomes another solo UK visit for the Duke of Sussex.